Hello students, let us move forward and probably that would be our last video for this unit. Uh, it's about solving polynomial equations. So whenever we say solving polynomial equations, that means whenever some polynomial function is given to you, you will have to figure out all its roots or zeros. So by solving a polynomial function, that means you are finding the x-intercepts or the roots, or we call them, roots are written here, it's also called zeros. These are the different terms we use. Zeros means when y value is 0. X-intercept, obviously it means when the y value is 0. Roots are x value that makes the function 0. Okay, so you have to figure out here, solve the following polynomial to determine the real roots of each polynomial function. So what you do, it's already in the factor form. So you just have to do one factor will come from here. So it is x equal to 0. Second will come from here, which is x equal to 3. And third will come from the next one, which is x equal to -1. Now students, if you just see it, and if you just have to, we are little going forward. So say we want to draw the graph of this function. Okay, so how the graph of this function look like? First mark your x-intercept. So x-intercept is -1. And then we have 0. So just mark them, these points. And next is 3. So this is point 3. And you can also look for what is the y-intercept value. But you can see when we plug x as 0, the whole thing will go to 0. So your y-intercept is also 0 here. Now look into what is the degree of this. So degree of this is 4. And if you look into the leading coefficient, it's positive because x squared times x plus x, it is always giving you x raised to power 4. So leading coefficient is positive. That means your graph is going from quadrant 2 to quadrant 1 because your degree is 4 and leading coefficient is positive. So how the behavior of the graph look like? Now you see here, they're saying at x equal to 0, we have order 2. And order 2 graph, you know that it will just hit the x-axis and it will bounce back. Okay. So let us see how it will look like. So when I draw this graph, it should go like this. And then from here, it is bouncing back. Okay. And then x -3, it is going to come out from there. Sorry, my graph is looking little off from 3, but this is how it will look like. And normally in this kind of exercise, we are not much interested to see where it is turning. But if you want to see the real value, you see the difference between -1 and 0. So the value is -0.5. Plug this value of x here, you will get the value of y. And similarly from 0 to 3, you just plug value 1.5 and you will get the another turning point here. Okay, so this is the way you can solve it. Also from here, you know that your factors are x -1, x plus 1, and then x square plus 1 is not a factor. So those are the only two factors we have for this function. Okay, because it will not give you any factor. Okay, so you can solve these problems just factoring. And now, for example, say you have to solve this d. So obviously you need remainder theorem or zero theorems to figure out that what could be the possible factors. So look into constant and look into this number. So plus and minus 1, plus and minus 2, plus and minus 3, and plus and minus 6, they come from this part. And for 1 and 2 is just plus and minus 1, plus and minus 2. So try these values individually, and after that you also take the factor of, so we write factor of 6 over factor of 2. So 2 is coming from here and 6 is coming from here. So you can try them and solve it. And because this is a cubic function, so once you get a factor, the second factor you can find from the quadratic equation. And same thing, you can try these also. Solving basically means you have to find the factors of this. And if they give you some real problem, like say they have given you this problem here, so then you have to plug this value and then you have to figure out the factors from here. So if I just see, it should look like 9x cubed plus 60x squared plus 249x minus 2532 should be equal to 0. Okay, so I know this is a lot of work, but you have to go through this and then you have to find its factor. Okay, and then you can do some more review on it. So that's all we have for solving the polynomials. And then we have this next one is families of polynomial functions. So families of polynomial function, students, are having the same factors, means At x-axis they have the same behavior. So like you can see here, x minus 1, x minus 1, minus 1, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, all this. The only thing will vary is the first. Okay, so we call the family when they have same x intercept. Now these all functions are different because of their a values, and they all functions are same because of their factors, or you can say x intercept. They have the same x intercept values. So you can have some, write an equation for a family of polynomial function if the zeros are 1, negative 2 and plus 1. So how we write that function? We write it a, because we don't know that what the value of a is, it's in general, and then we write x negative plus 1, sorry, you can write in any order, okay, and then x minus 1 and then x minus 2. I'm doing it, okay. And also you can see here, you can bring them together, you can just add a into x square negative 1 and x minus 2. So that's your family of function, okay. And then they are looking for write two equations that will belong to the family. So two equations means just change the value of a. So sometime you can add maybe 4, sometime you can add maybe minus 5, and keep the other things same. So you have the families. Write the equation for a member of this family if its graph is passing through 3 and negative 16. So when they give you a point, basically they want you to figure out the value of a. Okay, so you can find that value. So these are the zeros. You can just write a into x. X is say, let me write, hold on. This is similar to like, when we solve that y-intercept. So we write negative 16 equal to a into 3 plus 1 and then 3 minus 1 and 3 negative 2. So negative 16 equal to 4 times a, and then this is giving me value 2 and then value 1. So I'm getting negative 16 equal to 8a, and divide both sides by 8. So you will get a value as negative 2. So that means that will be the specific function. And then another one, they say y-intercept is 0, negative 12. That means they wanted to plug value 0, negative 12. Okay, and you can find the inequalities from there. Sorry, you can find the equation of the function from there. And same thing here too. Okay, so you can practice on this also, not a hard unit. And then we have to go through the last part of it, and it says find the equations or solution for any inequalities. So now students, you see here, let us first take question number 1. So don't care about what they have written here, less than equal to 0 or greater than equal to 0. Your first step is to just graph the function. So whatever function they give you, whatever polynomial they give you, try to graph it. So I'm doing C. So I know the factor of this is x equal to 3, then x equal to negative 2 over 5, and then x equal to 3 over 4. Okay, so I'm just taking their values. So I will say somewhere here is, let it be negative 2 over 5, which is 0.4 negative, but I'm going to write negative 2 over 5 here. Then I say this is 3 over 4, so I'm going to write that 3 over 4 here. And then we have third value as 3, so I'm going to write later for 3 values here. And also you can figure out the value of the y-intercept. And what we do y-intercept quickly, students, you just multiply these numbers constant. So you do negative 3 times this negative 3 is 9, 9 times 2 is 18. So 18 is the y-intercept that we are going to use. And the degree of this polynomial function is odd and leading coefficient is positive. Again, how you get it? 4, 5 and 1. So when you multiply them, you're going to get a positive value. So that means this graph will go from this quadrant to this quadrant. That means from quadrant 3 to quadrant 1. This general behavior of the graph, students, you should be aware of. Okay, so I'm going to make that graph here. So I'm sure it will be going like this. Somewhere it is hitting it here, and then it's returning back at this point. And this value should be 0, 18, the one that I found. Okay, now they are asking where this function has value less than 0. Less than 0 means when y is less than 0, which interval. So you can see from here now this graph. So I will say negative infinity to negative 2.5, the value is less than 0. And second is alternate intervals. Okay, so second is and 3/4 to 3. So that's your answer. And similarly, by looking into this question number 2, you are doing fx is less than equal to 0. So you can see from here to here, here to here, and then from here. So I will say here negative infinity to negative 4, sorry, I think it's negative 5. That's my one solution. Second is negative 2 to 0, and third is 4 to infinity. That's my answer. So solve it first, and don't care much about whether they say less than, greater than, or whatever they say. Leave it just for make a graph, and after that you come to the inequalities by looking into the graph, and then you can decide it. Okay. Now again, you can figure out the values here. Should not be hard. Solve the following inequalities. They are saying greater than equal to 0. Again, draw it, and then you can solve this. Okay. Now here they are saying solve your inequalities, and the inequalities algebraically. Okay. So algebraically, how you do it? So you do x square negative 6x plus 9 greater than equal to 16. Okay. So first we have to isolate. We say 6x plus 9 minus 16 is greater than equal to 0. Make sure you bring it to this side. And then you get x square minus 6x minus 7 is greater than equal to 0. So if you just look into finding the factor of this, you know that it's the factors are negative 7 and plus 1. So you can write x negative 7 and x plus 1 is greater than equal to 0. Okay, so if I have to just look into these values, I know the factors are negative 1 and 7, and my intervals are negative infinity to negative 1, and then negative 1 to 7, and then 7 to infinity. Now what's your role is? Your role is you take any value from these intervals and plug it in the whole expression and see if it is making the whole expression right. Okay, so for example, say we have this negative infinity to negative 1, and say I assume I'm taking value here, say let it be negative 2. So I will put that value here in this expression now. So I will say 2 square minus 6 times 2 with the negative 2 plus 9, it should be greater than equal to 16. So you can see here 4 and plus 12 plus 9, obviously it's greater than equal to 16. That means this is the solution. This makes solution. And now remember, students, alternate make solution here. Okay, so if this is making solution, it should make solution, and this should not. So I just want to check if this why it's not making solution. So I will take a value from here, and I will go with the easy value, which is 0. So I will just plug that here. 0 square negative 6 times 0 plus 9, it need to be greater than equal to 16. So basically 9 is greater than equal to 16, and you know it's not correct. So this is the way you can algebraically solve. First find the factors, and then find the intervals, and then take some value from that interval, one value. You don't have to take many, just take one value and put it and see if the whole inequality is being set properly or not. Also, if you are doing this kind of questions, make sure first you bring all these things to other side, make it a single polynomial, and then you start solving it. Okay, so you can try this kind of question, and that's all we have here for this question, this unit, students. Okay, this is about solving polynomial inequalities. So again, like when you have to solve this, first you solve the whole expression, and then you later on check it when it is less than 0 or when it's greater than 0. Okay, so that's all for this unit, and if you have any question, again let me know. Otherwise we will move forward with the next unit. Thank you.